On,
So why didn't the oyster share his food?
Why?
The shellfish. There was a sailor, right? And he gets hired onto his new ship. And then they go sailing around the oceans for about 6 months. And he's talking to his buddy. He's like, hey, when do we go back into port? You know, like, I'm getting horny over here, right? And he's like, we're not going back into port for like another 6 months. And he's like, what the hell? You know, I can't wait that long. He's like, have you tried the barrel? He's like, no, what's that? And so he takes him to his room. And there's a barrel there, right? With a little hole in it. He's like, well, here we go, right? So he starts fucking the barrel. And it's working really good, you know? Like, wow, this is great, you know? So he's like, yeah, man, I want to use that barrel every day. He's like, well, every day but Sunday, right? He's like, oh, you can't use it on Sunday? I'm like, yeah, you can, but Sunday's your day in the barrel. Yeah, I was serving the United States Army, first cavalry division, Fort Hood. That's weird being the only Asian person, though. Every day, people are just looking at me like, are we supposed to shoot this guy? Okay, let me tell you a story. The day I in-processed into the Army, my recruiter, he picks me up and he takes me to the Bonaventure Hotel right over there in downtown. And he's like, you see that line of people? Go get in that line, sign in, and they'll tell you what to do. So I do that, and they give me a room key, and they're like, all right, you better go to sleep early tonight. We're going to wake you up 3 in the morning tomorrow. I'm like, 3 in the morning? You know, I'm 18 years old. Like, I've never woken up that early. So anyway, I go to sleep, and sure enough, 3 in the morning, they wake me up. The phone rings. I'm like, hello? You know, so like, get downstairs, get on this bus. So I do that, and they take us to this base, like in Long Beach, and we're sitting around. The first thing they do is they break us up into our branches, Army here, Navy here, Marines, Air Force. Now it's obvious to everyone right away that all the pretty girls are in the Air Force. Right? So I'm in the Army, I'm like, fuck! Anyway, first thing they do is they give us this test. It's like this crazy test. It's like the SAT on steroids, you know, it's crazy. Anyway, those who pass the test, they break us up in these little groups. And for me, they say, you go into this room over here. So I open the door, I walk in, I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Like, there's a bunch of dudes, you know, and they're all lined up, and they're all in their underwear, you know? And they're all like doing jumping jacks and all these weird things. And they're like, all right, hurry, get in here, take off your clothes. You know, I'm like, what? You know? I'm like, okay, you know? They're like, hurry up, take your clothes off. I'm like, I guess. You know, this is so uncomfortable, right? I've never done anything like this. So I get in my underwear, and I line up with everyone else. And what it is there's a sergeant in the front. And he's like, okay, now everyone do jumping jacks. Okay, now everyone do windmills. Now everyone do squats, right? And these 2 other sergeants are walking up and down, just watching everyone like hawks and shit. And so at one point, one of those sergeants yells to the guy next to me. He's like, you, do that windmill again. And he tries, but he can't get his arm all the way up, you know? And so he's like, get out, you're out. And that was it, you know, that's how fast it took to whatever, get out, you know? That was just the beginning. You had vision tests, hearing tests, like height, weight. You know, they're cutting people left and right, just like, get out, you're out, you're out, you're out. At one point, there was this Mexican dude, he was like this big old tatted down guy, and he's all talking to everyone like how his dad was a Marine, and all of his uncles were Marines and stuff, and how he's gonna be like the best Marine in the world. And then this guy walks out and he's like, you're out. You know, and he's like, what? He's like, why? It's like, your neck is too thick. You know, it measured too thick. That was it, he couldn't be a Marine. You know, he almost started crying right then and there in front of everyone. And so, like, you know, I passed through all these tests, like one after another after another. Finally, at 5 o'clock at night, I passed my final test, and then the sergeant was like, congratulations, son, you know, you made it to the United States Army. And I was like, thank you, sergeant, you know. I was like so proud and like so happy with myself. But then the whole time I was in the Army, I couldn't wait to get out of that motherfucker. Okay, I'll tell you another story. You know, when I was in 8th grade, the very first day of 8th grade, there was this big fight that happened. I didn't see it, but everyone told me about it. It was with this guy, Viet, some little 7th grade Vietnamese kid that I never heard of. And Chago, you know, Chago was this 8th grader that everyone knew. Chago was like this Mexican gangster kid, you know, and he was all bald and stuff. And when I was in 7th grade, I was scared to death of Chago. Yeah, I avoided him throughout the whole 7th grade. Anyway, this is the first day of 8th grade. And then so he gets in a fight with some little Vietnamese kid, right? And everyone told me the same thing. Like, right at the beginning, Viet, he gets into this weird kung fu stance where he's like this. You know, and everyone starts laughing, you know, because they think he's messing around or something. But then Chago goes up, he's like, come on. And then he starts punching and kicking Chago, you know? And he's just like, bam, 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 right? And he's like beating him up. Anyway, Chago's got two buddies, right? So they're like, fuck this, and they jump in. And then he starts beating them up too, you know? And then whatever, he starts beating up all three at the same time, you know, like kind of like Jackie Chan. And everyone said like, it looked like everyone else was just moving in slow motion. And this guy's just like, bam, 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 like all three of them. And then at some point, Chago's like, fuck this. And he goes to his backpack and he takes out two sharpened pencils, you know? He's like, I'm gonna fucking stab your ass, you know? And then Viet starts kicking at the pencils and shit. And he breaks both pencils. And then he just starts kicking everyone again and shit. And they're all like, we give up. And they all just run away. And then everyone just started like plotting, you know, Viet and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. And then after that, like everyone took martial arts, you know? And then after that too, everyone stopped using pencils. Okay, I'll tell you another story. You know, a lot of people acquire like strange nicknames in the Army. I think the most unfortunate nickname was a guy named Nopi. That was his nickname, yeah. I don't know what his real name was, but to this day, if I see him, you know, I'd be like, Nopi! Anyway, during basic training, it was 200 dudes, right? And then our drill sergeants tell us in the very beginning that, okay, the best two shooters will get to shoot the rocket launcher, the AT-4. So I wasn't, you know, I was like maybe the fifth. But anyway, we're all watching, and so the first guy goes up, and then like he's like fiddling with the rocket launcher, and then he puts it to his shoulder, right? So we're like all watching, and all of a sudden it's like boom, you know, these big clouds of smoke on either side, and it's like it looks like an orange football comes streaking out, and right when it hits the tape, it doesn't blow right away. It's like boom, right, and all these sparks go flying, and we're like, whoa, fucking awesome, yeah, right? And so the next guy goes up, and they hand him the rocket launcher, and the same thing. He's like getting ready to fire. He puts it on his shoulder and I'm like, all right, here we go. And this time it's like, boom! And this time it goes straight into the ground, like just 10 feet in front of him, you know? It's like, boom! And we're like, you suck, you loser, you know? And then later that night, someone gave him the name No-Penis, like happiness, but no, you know, or no penis, kind of. I don't know. So that got shown to No-P. No-P the guy. How much time? Pretty much it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right, guys. I mean, well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I love the military. I have 3 friends that joined the military to get away from their authority figures. You're so dumb. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from the back.